I was having lunch a few weeks back with my business partner, Brendan, and she said to me, "When I first met you, you fit my perfect definition of a lovely person. You know, someone who's great fun to hang out with at happy hour, but they have no influence in business. Now you're a mover and shaker with an ability to make amazing connections. I have no idea how you got from there to here, but whatever you did, it worked." Brendan was right, and I would love to tell you that I had an overnight transformation, but it actually looked more like this. It was through a series of experiences that pushed my comfort zones farther than I could ever imagine when I learned that there to here is just another leap. One of those experiences happened on a Saturday morning in June 2006. My friend Dana called and said, "Our networking group's getting together today. Do you want to come join us?" I said, "Dana, you know how I am about networking. You put me in a room full of strangers and I turn into a wallflower." She said, "We're not having a meeting. We're actually doing a team building exercise on the Odyssey High course." I said, "How high is high?" She said, "I don't know. Come out. It'll be fun." Reality hit me as I was standing at the base of the starting tower. Our first goal was to climb to the platform 45 feet in the air. I had a small problem. My biggest fear was heights. With no graceful way to back out, I started climbing. By the time I got to the top, my heart felt like it was going to pound out of my chest. I was drenched in sweat, and I thought for sure I was going to throw up. Then I made the mistake of looking down. So I sat down, and I was clutching the platform for dear life. And then that happened. Bum, bum.
What do we know about the future? Difficult question, simple answer, nothing. We cannot predict the future. We only can create a vision.
I love this. And then God chimed in. No, wait a minute. Okay, it's quiet. All right, okay. Our instructor said, now that you're on the course, the only way to get down is 420 feet at the other end. I felt well-equipped with a flimsy little harness. I was hooked to a lifeline above, and the only thing between me and the ground was a skinny little cable. All the worst-case thoughts are running through my head. I could throw up, pass out, or go splat. Finally getting up the nerve to step out on the course, I've got Paul next to me, and the whole time he's saying, I can't do this, I can't do this. Paul, I know we just met, but I'm having a hard enough time with the voices in my own head. You're not helping. So just feel your feet on the cable and see us getting to the next platform quickly and easily. Paul said, I see myself at Dana's drinking a beer and eating a burger. It took us 3.5 hours, but we finally made it. Have you ever been swimming and you dip your toe in the water and it's cold? You have the choice to get in slowly or you take a breath and leap. The high course was a big leap. Besides, after that, networking looked really easy. A few months later, I went to the Healthy Kansas City Coalition lunch. Feeling a little bit more confident, I introduced myself to the woman sitting next to me. Her name was Celia. She asked, "What do you do?" I said, "I'm a speaker on health and wellness topics." She said, "That's great. I work for a corporate wellness company, and we're always looking to hire speakers for our clients. Do you have a video you can send me?" I said, "Yes." Walking to my car later that day, I thought, what a great opportunity to fail. I wasn't a speaker. I introduced the speakers for our events. Yeah. You put a microphone in my hand, and I would tremble from nerves. And hell no, I didn't have a video. But I've been doing it for over 2 years. I knew the content. So I thought, I'll make a PowerPoint, and I'll read slides to keep me on track. We booked an event, got the video, I mailed it off. She hired me. Around the same time, the National Speakers Association brought in comedian and keynote speaker Darren LaCroix to do a humor boot camp. I needed funny, so I went. Afterwards, I introduced myself to Darren, and he said, "Are you a speaker?" And I said, "Yes." He said, "Do you have a video?" "Yes." After he watched it, he called me. He said, "Do you want the varnished or unvarnished truth?" I said, "Give it to me unvarnished." He said, "As a speaker, you suck." Doing what most people would after being insulted, I hired him and took another leap. The first thing Darren had me do was join my local Toastmasters club. I needed help. The second thing was qualify to enter in the Toastmasters International Speech Competition. In 2001, Darren beat over 25,000 people from 14 countries to win this title. Because of the time frame when I joined, I had less than 90 days to give 6 different talks to even qualify. The great thing about short deadlines when facing a fear is I didn't have time to listen to all the yes buts, what ifs, and I don't know how to's floating around in my head. I qualified. And then things got really intense. Darren coached me on writing my speech, but just as important was my mental preparation. Before each level of the competition, if I had a chance, I'd go to the different venues so I could actually see the space where I would be. Like athletes that use visualization to improve sports performance, I used it to mentally take myself out of my comfort zone. I visualized every aspect of my talk, including how I was walking on stage, the sound of my voice, and connecting with the audience. Then I took the visualization and I wrote it down like an affirmation. Now, I used to think that affirmations were something that you only did for a few minutes a day. And then I discovered that with everything we think and everything we say, we're constantly affirming ourselves. So I put those affirmations all over my house. I even put it on the visor in my car to keep me focused on what I was thinking, what I was saying. I made it 4 out of 6 levels in the competition, but it was what I learned in the process. It helped me to connect the dots. I started noticing that every time I'd say yes to something that scared me, I'd figure it out. And then it helped make the next leap a little easier. In fact, I started looking for ways to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Let me show you. All right, everybody put your arms up in the air like this. Be careful not to whack the person sitting next to you. All right, cross your arms over your chest, and I want you to look down and see if you have your right arm over left or your left arm over right. Got it? All right, uncross your arms, careful. This time, cross them with the opposite arm on top. We're having problems down here in front. Okay, how does it feel? Word? Awkward? Anybody feel uncomfortable? Uncross your arms. All right, the first time you did it, it was a subconscious habit. You didn't even have to think about it. The second time, it was a conscious decision. But the thing is, you're on subconscious autopilot over 95% of the time. That's what makes pushing comfort zones feel so awkward. And the thing is, we have comfort zones all around us, so it's when you can become aware of what's pushing you. Makes it easier. I conducted a very unscientific poll on Facebook. And I posted the following photo with 2 questions. I said, have you ever walked into a bathroom and noticed that the toilet paper was on the roll backwards? And did it make you uncomfortable enough to change it? Well, first a debate started on which way was the right way to put the toilet paper on the roll. And there were actually some people that admitted that they changed it. You know, for me, I know what pushes me. Yes, toilet paper's one of them. But creating this talk, I was surprised at the new awarenesses that I had. In fact, it first started when I got the invitation to speak. I seriously thought I'd been punked. And then I went, wait, this is on my bucket list. It's a good thing. I'm a TEDster. I was already out surfing the TED site anyway, but now I had an excuse to do research. And I spent hours watching videos. But the more I watched, the more I started comparing myself to those extraordinary stories. And it's like, is what you're saying right? And I'm rewriting and rewriting. In fact, I was rewriting at 9:30 last night. But then I caught myself. And I said, what makes you worthy to stand on that stage? That's when I realized my biggest fear wasn't heights. My biggest fear was staying stuck right there. 20 years ago, I was in a verbally abusive relationship. That's when I turned into a wallflower. His words were damaging, but it's what I started to believe about myself that was far worse. I stayed stuck for over 5 years until I finally decided I wasn't going to take it anymore. Even with threats, I found the courage to leave. But I didn't have the confidence to pursue my dreams. One of my favorite quotes, she took a leap of faith and grew her wings on the way down. You know, sometimes that leaps into a pool. Other times it is off a mountain. I think one of the things that stops people is not having all the details of how to get from there to here. But I learned it doesn't matter because you'll figure it out. When your reason why is powerful enough, it'll overcome even your biggest fear. And finally remember, once you're here, you're always going to have another there. So I challenge you, just take another leap. Thank you.